insurance IT system that's need to be there, right? So I will be talking more on the openIMIS for actual analysis. I myself, I'm Purushottam Sapkota, working as a technical advisor for Integrated Health Information System team here in GIZ Nepal. I have been working with GIZ since 2018, but I have my experience on software development, software implementation, and other things as well. I am currently pursuing my master's in e-governance, so there might be some governance related thing that you need to discuss. Then I'm there as well. So moving on, I will be talking about what the status of openIMIS implementation here in Nepal, along with some data, what data are available in openIMIS, and then I'll continue on what data is actually needed for actual analysis and what data set is not available in openIMIS as well. So moving on, there are currently two implementation of openIMIS here in Nepal. One is Health Insurance Board, another one is Social Security Fund. The Health Insurance Board, it is a voluntary social health insurance scheme which targets the informal sector, and we started to use openIMIS since 2016. It is covered in all health services, and there is SSF with the mandatory health and accident insurance scheme for the formal sector, and it started just since 2022. There are almost 442 health facilities as an impaneled service provider who are using openIMIS to send claims data daily. On an average, there are 30,000 claims arriving for the Health Insurance Board, whereas in SSF, we have 84 health facilities impaneled, and on an average, we are getting almost 1,100 claims in a day. There are different functionalities that is being used by the Health Insurance Board and Social Security Fund. Since the Health Insurance Board is more focused on the informal sector right now, the functionalities are quite different from what we see here from Social Security Fund. So these new functionalities are being developed by Health Insurance Board themselves or through other vendors. These functionalities are there to ease the regular processes of Health Insurance Board. Their regular operation are increased. Their overall process is increased by this. So there is one functionality called random sampling of claims, which makes sure that the claim reviewers would be able to review large volume of claims early, and then there is an online enrollment and renewal module that was just launched. The renewal was launched 2 years back, but the online enrollment would be there soon as well. There is a profile application that insurer can use where the insurer can see the list of services that they got, and then they can see their policy information. And the another big thing is interoperability with using FHIR standard. Multiple EMR, ESR vendors are sending claims-related data to openIMIS using this API, this API standard. And for the SSF, there is a formal sector employment module that is developed and used by SSF. There is another employment insurance claim management module as well, and the interoperability using FHIR module is already there. So moving on, so what kind of data is there in openIMIS? So in the enrollment side, we capture demographic details on like gender, date of birth, marital status, who is head of household, and so on. We do capture policy information regarding what was the policy start date, what was it ended, what is the premium amount, what is the contribution amount, when was the policy paid, and so on. And in the claim section, we do gather details on the level of health facilities, the type of health facilities, the legal form of health facilities. We capture multiple dates in the system. There is a visit date, claim date, review date, and then payment date as well. We do capture different type of claims, whether if it is OPD case or either it's a IPD or referral as well. We do have some a different level of claim status, the submitted one, validated and rejected one. In the diagnosis side, we capture ICD-10 and then ICD-11. We also record the details of each individual item and services, their prices, and when those items and services were prescribed, linking to that claim. And we do have amount, the claimed amount, the approved amount, and rejected amount. As you can see in this right picture, there are, because openIMIS is a modular system, there are different modules which is recording different types of data. Since openIMIS is a modular system, we can extend or capture data based on what we require. So there might be some grievance module next, which will capture grievance related data in the near future as well. Moving on, so what kind of data is needed for actuary, right? So as Professor Jens has already mentioned, we do require some demographic variables. This would include the factor like age, gender, location, the health history, occupation, and other potential claims-related cost as well. We might require policy details on like what is the type of insurance that we want, the coverage of the amount, the premium, the policyholders details, and so on. There might be some economic variables that we need for the actual analysis. Maybe inflation rate is there, the interest rate, the economic growth indicators, and unemployment rates within the country as well. And there might be some risk factors that we want to use for the actual analysis. So risk factors like health indicators, lifestyle factors, and so on. And most important part is the claim history, the mortality rates as well, the morbidity rates, and historical insurance behavior. We might need that for actual analysis. And there are other factors like environmental and external factors, where we want to see the regulatory changes, technological advancement, and then natural disaster statistics as well. And there is a financial variables like investment returns, expense ratios, loss ratios, and reserve levels as well. As I share what data we capture in openIMIS, the variables that are highlighted in the bold are not captured within openIMIS itself. These these variables need to be gathered through different organizations data, or maybe some different research articles, or maybe some different publications as well. Moving on, so these are the data's demographic related data that is being used uh, as of now for the actual activities that HIB is conducting. There is a unique beneficiary identification details that we are checking, and then there is beneficiaries' date of birth with the age, their gender, their policy starting date, their exit date, and so on. And in the claim side, we do analyze the type of health facility the claim is coming from, the whether that particular case is a referral case or the primary care type of case, or and then the ICD codings as well. So these are the details that I presented. So I hand over to Pratima for next session. Yeah, Pratima.
Thank you so much, Puruji. Can you please move to the Yes, thank you so much. Hello everyone again. My name is Pratima, and I'm working as a junior advisor for social health protection component in GIZ Nepal. I'm not an actuarian, but I am a public health professional. I did my master's in international health with a focus on health policy and financing, and I have been working in global health sector since 2015, so nearly a decade now, especially focusing on research, maternal child health, nutrition, gender equality perspective, and other topics, so forth. I will, Purisi, can you please support me with getting on to the next slide, please? Thank you so much. Dwelling back on the topic today, we will be discussing on three major aspects. I would say all of them does talk about actuarial analysis. So just to provide a brief background on how the health insurance program has been implemented in Nepal. Then we'll see why the Health Insurance Board is currently conducting the actuarial analysis and who will be using this evidence from the actuarial analysis for what purpose. Next slide, please. So the Health Insurance Board, or HIB, of Nepal is a public organization that is established under the Health Insurance Act 2017 and is the major body that is responsible for the implementation of health insurance program in Nepal. So when you look at the timeline, the talk about health insurance started as early as 2013 when the first insurance policy was passed. And progressively in 2017, the Act was also passed, based on which Health Insurance Board was established as an independent agency, and the program was piloted in 3 districts, first in 2016, and in 2017 it was expanded to 17 districts. So throughout the years, the program has been implemented in different districts, and at the moment in 2024 it has been implemented in all 753 local structures of the country, which means all the 77 districts. And the major milestone that Nepal has achieved in 2023 is also the National Health Financing Strategy, which prioritizes health insurance program as one of the national priority of the Nepalese government. And moving ahead again. So when we look at the key features of the health insurance program in Nepal, so it's rooted in the principles of social solidarity, risk pooling and prepayment, and is a family-based contributory but subsidized program for certain target groups, which includes ultra-poor population, household with person with severe disability, household with different specified disease condition like leprosy, HIV, and multi-drug resistance tuberculosis, and also elderly population above the age of 70 years and above. So when we talk about the contribution or premium rate, it is set at a flat rate of Nepalese currency, Nepalese rupees, 3,500 per annum per family, since it's a family-based health insurance program, and an additional 700 rupees per member per additional family members. So you can see that the premium amount is relatively low when we compare it with the US dollars. It comes around only 26 or 27 USD per family per year, and for additional it's only around $6. So the ceiling of benefit package is also set at NPR 100,000 per family on the basis of 5 members, with an additional 20,000 per additional family members, with a ceiling of Nepalese currency 200,000. And there is a referral system through the first service point, which is preferably the basic healthcare services in the area of residence of the insuree, except in case of emergency where the beneficiaries can use any health facility based on his or her need. And additionally, there is also a policy provision to progressively expand the benefit package, and currently 1133 medicines are being provided by the Health Insurance Board, which also includes 25 Ayurvedic medicines, and is available through 442 service providers, which includes majority of the public health facilities, but then also has fair share of community and private health facilities. And the recent change in the key features of health insurance program is also the introduction of co-payment system, 20% and 10%, which is applicable only to the specified groups or health services and also the type of health facilities. And the all of these are defined by the legal documentation that is mentioned in the Health Insurance Act of 2017 and also the regulation in 2019. Next one, please. Okay, so coming back to the major talk of today, why is actuarial analysis considered by the HIB? So from the presentation from Professor Jens, we have certain clarity on why countries or specific entities do the actuarial analysis. So what makes it actuarial is not just the ability to look into the past or the historical data on what has happened, but also to use information to have better understanding of the projection or assumptions in the future, and then define our way forward. So HIV, when we look at different plans that the Health Insurance Board has in terms of short, medium, as well as long term, we can see many different specific reforms that has been suggested already. So the actuarial analysis, this one feeds into many of those plans that Health Insurance Board has in place. For example, in the short-term plans, the recosting of drugs and packages that comes to, of course, the volume, the status of the benefit package, and also relating to the expansion of benefit package. And in medium term, we can see that we are looking forward to population coverage, but since the geographical coverage has already been completed as of today, and integration of different fragmented multiple health protection schemes, and in terms of financial governance as well. And in long term, we're also looking into the vision of the health insurance program in terms of providing universal health coverage to the Nepalese citizen by decreasing the healthcare expenditure, catastrophic health expenses, and reducing financial hardship. And the major part is also related to the self-sustainability of the Health Insurance Board. So the evidence that is generated from the actuarial analysis will feed into these specific plans that HIV already has in place. Next slide, please. So dwelling on this topic again, Professor Jens was again mentioning that health insurance program in Nepal is quite young. It started from 2016 with a certain benefit package that was based on the feasibility study that was conducted at the time, and not a full-fledged actuarial analysis. And it did try to cover a lot of healthcare services, since we were targeting for universal health coverage. But coming from 2016 to 2024, when we started from around 24,000 insured population from 33 local structure of 3 district only, to 4.9 million insured population from all the local structure, 753 local structure or 77 districts of the country, we do need a lot of changes. So why is HIV actually conducting the analysis at the moment? The first one is regarding the pricing model, to see if the coverage and benefit is actually adequate, is correct, is right in terms of for the target that we have in hand, by assessing the impact of extension, the volume of the cost and the benefits, and projecting these benefit levels across different groups. The Health Insurance Board is trying to see what can be the possible changes, or what needs to be there, what needs to be continued, and what can be the possible changes in the future for financial management and sustainability. So for this one also, there will of course be analysis of the data that Puruji has mentioned in his presentations already, different data, financial as well as non-financial indicators, the causes of present or possible future deficits, and also decision making in terms of appropriate financing and investment. So what are the key answers that the Health Insurance Board is looking through this actuarial analysis? The first one, what is the current status of key performance indicators, both financial and non-financial, for which the in-depth analysis has also been conducted prior to the actuary analysis, but the findings from this finding from this in-depth analysis will feed into development of assumptions for the actuary analysis. And the second one is to see how has the target population evolved over time in terms of demographic, in terms of healthcare service utilization patterns, and also looking into the burden of disease in case of Nepal, which is quite changing when compared to other countries over the globe. And what are the changes that is necessary in the parameters of the National Health Insurance Program in order to ensure the big agenda of financial sustainability, by looking into the contribution rate or the premium rate, the extent or volume of the benefit package, and also the nature of the service providers that we have at hand. And with all these, we are looking forward to see the possible systems, institutional as well as process reforms in order to enhance the universal health coverage through the health insurance program. Next one, please. So after the analysis, what we are expecting is a bit of change and this needs to come from the major actors for health insurance and health financing in Nepal. So as you can see in the mechanism of the health insurance program, board is the prime body with Ministry of Health and Population, and of course the planning and policy entities of the government of Nepal. So health insurance board, since it's an autonomous body, health insurance board will be the one who will be using this evidence to have different kind of necessary recommended reforms in the health insurance scheme of Nepal. Of course, Ministry of Health and Population, being the line ministry of health insurance board, will also be involved in the process, since all the policy and financial or budget allocation agendas also lies in hand of Ministry of Health and Population to some extent. Other line ministries like Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security, and other government entities, especially the policymakers, will also be involved, because there is this question of no, I would not say cohesion, but existing different social protection schemes in Nepal that needs to be harmonized, and it has been one of the major debate in Nepal every now and then. And through this actuary analysis, through the findings that the health insurance board will receive from this analysis, we are hoping to see if there is some interventions that can be done for the harmonization of those social protection schemes as well. And other implementers of social protection schemes like Social Security Fund that Puruji has already mentioned, there are other big schemes as well in Nepal which also needs to be looked into to have a sustainable health insurance program in Nepal. So, how are these data going to be used? Of course, the end result is going to be financial sustainability, but for the short term, we are looking forward to see changes or adjustment in premium setting, evidence-based decision making for the health insurance board, changes or recommendations for the reimbursement mechanism and revisions of the reimbursement rates, and also harmonization of social protection scheme, which will ultimately bring in systemic reforms and then help in the financial sustainability of the health insurance program. So this is it from my side. We look forward to any kind of questions and suggestions or any comments from you, and thank you so much.